Welcome to Morris Star Block of the Month, Month 1.
Brought to you by Free Spirit Fabrics and the original Morrison Company.
I'm Jenny K. Parks. If you want to know more about me, you can check out my website, jennykquilts.com. The Morris Star Block of the Month features beautiful fabrics from the Morris line from Free Spirit Fabrics. And today I'm going to show you how to assemble the Kaleidoscope blocks. To make this block, first we're going to have to make the templates. Because we have nice straight lines here, I'm going to use a ruler and line it up as close as I possibly can to that template line and then draw it right on there. And you can see it's right on the line. So I continue to draw both templates, A and B. You can see on my templates, I have added the letter for the template, but also that it's the Morris Star Block of the Month, Month 1. I want it to be really clear. I don't want mistakes with the templates. You can also see, if you notice here, these kind of grubby looking edges, this is my secret weapon, double-sided tape. So I put double-sided tape onto the back of it, and then when I lay it on the fabric, it's so much easier to trace around. And if it picks up lint and it gets a little fuzzy, you just peel off some of that tape and then put on another set. Double-sided tape, trust me, it's brilliant with this. All right, so once the templates are made, we need to prepare the fabric. So I'm sure you've got some experience under your belt, and you know that we're going to be working with a lot of bias edges, meaning not on the grain line, not on the straight of grain. Because we're doing these templates, I try to cut them out on the straight of grain as much as I possibly can, but we're going to have bias here. So I like to use starch, and I use spray starch and water. I use the trick our grandmothers or great-grandmothers used to use. They get the fabric wet, they sprinkle it with starch, and they let the starch soak in, and then they press while it's still wet. I do the same thing. So I'm going to line this up on my salvage, and that's what I want to shoot for every time I can, to have as much control as I possibly can with it. Then I'm going to trace with my pencil. Now I've used all different kinds of markers to go around things. I've used red ink pens, I've used ballpoint pens, desperate times I've used Sharpies, I've used gel pens, whatever you need to get the tracing done. And see, with that added tape on there, it really holds it into position. And you can see, there's my shape right there. So let me cut this out. Now when you do it, of course, you'll have several to cut out at the same time. I always say the more you can do of the same thing at the same time, the better you're going to get at it. So I would trace all of the ones that I needed of shape A, and then all of the ones that I needed of shape B, and then I'd sit down and cut them out. You know, put on a movie, relax, cut them all out. You could also, if you like, lay a ruler and put this on the cutting mat and cut it out with a rotary cutter that way. But I'm just going to do it real quick here this way. There we go. So you follow the same process as you make patch B. Now let me show you how to put the block together. First I'm going to join patch A to patch B. Now press it. I like to heat the seam first. I think it works better and gives you a nicer crease. In this block, I pushed everything to the dark. Once you've assembled all your A and B units, then it's time to join those together. Because we pressed towards the dark, these two seams will nestle right into each other. And continue to press towards the dark. So I've got my halves made. Now I need to match them together. And we want to preserve those points, right? I mean, the point is the point. So I use 3 pins, and I'm going to flip these over on each other on top. You see, I have an X right there where the threads cross each other. X marks the spot. So I put a pin right through that X. And then I come to the one underneath, and I put a pin right where those fabrics join. I try to get right in there. Now this pin, I want to make sure it's straight up and down. I don't want it at an angle. I don't want it off to the side, because then it's shifting where those fabrics are going to meet. And then I'm going to pin close by. Not exactly in the intersection, because I find that it shifts the points that I'm trying to meet. Come to the other side and pin there. All right, then I take this pin out and I'm good to sew. I remove the pins when I get pretty close. If you need to adjust to stitch right over the X, do it. Sacrifice a little bit of the seam to get the point. At this point, I press the seam open. It makes the block look much better. So that's the Kaleidoscope block. Next month, we're going to make uneven 9-patch blocks. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.
Brought to you by Free Spirit Fabrics and the original Morrison Company.